Here we go. This is the final event, day number 1. Maxime Boudreault on the right side of your screen from Canada, head-to-head with Luke Stoltman of Scotland. Boys are even so far, Terry. They're on the 400-pound stone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously these guys didn't perform great on that last event, but they're both fantastic stone lifters. So, you know, whatever these guys are doing here, you know it's of a very high standard.
Luke Stoltman needs a big performance here to get himself back in the mix. He's on the 5th and final stone. That's 450 pounds. Boudreault is on the 425-pound stone. This is a fast mover. This is 1 minute of your life and a lot of pain. So here we go, both men onto the final stone. They're going to do a full rack.
There's no way Luke could get away with being a bad stone lifter with Tom as his brother, as good as he is. Obviously training with him.
Yep.
Yeah, great performance. I'm sure Luke will be pleased with that.
Both men conquer the stone. It's a nice way to finish off day 1.
Oh, for sure. I think that's the first time I've seen Luke smile today. You know, great performance from him now.
Now let's look at the replay brought to you by Weisberg Wealth Management.
Actually, the lift from Luke up to his knees was so comfortable. Maybe he could have been a little bit quicker if he'd have been a bit more confident, but, you know, it didn't look like he struggled with that last rep at all.
Let's not forget, though, these guys less than an hour ago were competing in a grueling car leg press. And an hour before that, they were onto the medley. So it is no rest for the weary as we bring out our next 2 athletes here in the Atlas Stones, an iconic event. It'll be Thomas Evans out of Franklin, North Carolina by way of Delaware, the 29-year-old, 6'3", 360 pounds. He'll be going head-to-head with Ivers Smaukstelis, the 35-year-old out of Latvia. And it's worth noting, Terry, these stones, the weights haven't changed over the years. They've been doing the same weights for 20, 30 years. And you're really not racing against the guy. It's just for speed purposes and getting through it. It's you against the clock.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, we've got a couple of guys coming out here, both good stone lifters again. Avars is a fantastic stone lifter. I've not seen Tom do them too many times. But, yeah, I mean, I expect big performances from all the guys, if I'm honest. You know, I think with World Strongest Man being the way it is, the stones, there's a lot of emphasis on it. And, you know, obviously other shows, it is one of the sort of marquee events, essentially. That, log press, things like that, the deadlift. This is one of the sort of marquee events in strongman. You can't get away with being a bad stone lifter in a lineup like this because all the guys are so good.
And stones have been around for 3 decades plus. So are you seeing this more and more in gyms where the stones are available or some type of stone?
Yeah, I mean, certainly from when I started, you know, like if we had to make our own stones, you know, it was literally like that. And now there's plenty of places. I mean, I assume it's the same here in America. You can buy stones. I know these ones were made by Steve Slater, who makes them for the Arnolds as well and does work on World's Strongest Man, makes fantastic stones. But yeah, we can get them at home, the same thing, and there's lots of gyms that do keep them now.
60 seconds, both men make quick work of the 350-pound stone. Now it's on to 375. Even again, onto the 400-pound stone. Dead even.
Yes.
425 now, the penultimate stone.
Really close between these two.
Now you called it. You said they're going to both be great stone lifters. 450 pounds. They still have 30 seconds to go. These are both fast times, and it's Smaukstelis that gets the better of it.
Come on, Tom. Let's do this.
Ivers comes over to cheer him on. Thomas Evans.
That's the thing, I think, the way the last event was placed, Avars, Luke and Maxime are all fantastic stone lifters, like legitimately some of the best in the world. So, you know, don't be surprised if those times are really good at the top of the leaderboard at the end of this at the end of day 1.
Weisberg Wealth Management brings you the replay once again. Terry, look at the format. What do you think? How do you like their form, I guess I should say?
Yeah, I mean, Avars was solid all the way through. Tom just looked like he perhaps got the stone in slightly the wrong position on that last one. Just sort of made the full extension to get it on the platform just that little bit too tricky.
Adam Bishop squared off against Gavin Bilton.
Now, this will be an interesting one.
Great Britain taking on Wales here, and it'll be
Bishop on the right side of the course. Gavin Bilton on the left side. No advantage to either one. The stones all weigh exactly the same. Their platforms equally apart.
These are actually this year first and second place at Britain's Strongest Man. Bish got the win, Gav was second. And yeah, it was a close battle between the two of them at Britain's Strongest Man this year as well. So hopefully they continue. They both put in a big performance here as well.
Do you like the changes they've made? Because remember back in the day, the platforms were different heights. You start off smaller stones with lower, and then you built your way up to that high platform with the heaviest stone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for the tall guys, you know, we had an advantage with the first platform was like 6 foot. So, you know, we did have a big advantage and it favoured us. But even at the time, like people like myself, Brian, we used to talk about it and we were, obviously it favoured us, but we were still like, okay, but this isn't fair. Like some of the guys, like we've got Lalas arm wrestling tomorrow here, you know, when he came, well, I remember actually him dropping the stone on his head because he physically had to press the stone over his head. It's a different event for them than what it was for us.
I think this is a good improvement.
This is much, much better. It's much fairer.
So Gavin Bilton's going left, Adam Bishop on the right.
Hands on the platform.
60 seconds. Final event of day number 1. Bilton, no problem here. This is not going to be a cardio issue for him. He's got 60 seconds to get to these final 3 stones. This third stone, 400 pounds.
Come on, Gavin, you can win this.
Gavin is looking strong.
He is. Bish looks like he's struggling.
One more stone for Bilton.
Let's go, Big Gav.
There you go. Bish is now on to penultimate stone. 425. Gavin's got to get this 450-pound stone up there. They've got 20 seconds left. The fans come alive here in Colorado.
Gav's another one of those guys who's not quite to the same extreme as Mitch Hooper, but he hasn't been doing strongman all that long. Still making improvements every year, getting better and better. He's got events that he's really good at now, and yeah, to be in this lineup, you know, just competing against these guys is a big thing. They're, you know, the absolute best of the best, you know, and Gav's mixing it with them, so it shows the progression is continuing and he's getting better each competition.
Might not be the fastest time, but Terry, I got to think for motivation and sending you to day number 2, he just finished the entire rack of stones and now he's going to get some well-deserved rest.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely give him a bit of a confidence boost. So like you said, it wasn't the fastest time, but he has completed them. And obviously, you know, for him to beat Bish, who beat him at Britain's Strongest Man, you know, like I said, they're good friends earlier, they get on great, but Gav wants to be number 1 in Britain, which Bish is at the moment, so, well, who competed, because obviously we didn't have the Stoltmans there competing that year, but, you know, realistically, you know, Gav would be really pleased with that.
Great performance now as the crew goes to work, getting the stones reset. In case you're wondering, folks, and if you're new to the event, if you see the shine on those stones, they are allowed to use what's called tacky, Terry, and that just makes it, I mean, makes the stones really grippable, but you see some guys that they really go heavy on the tacky.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a bit of a funny one with the tacky, because sometimes, you know, if the weather's not quite right, you've got the wrong tacky with the temperature, sometimes it actually makes the stones even harder to lift if you get it wrong. So, you know, most of these guys are pretty meticulous. They have more than one pot of different tackies out the back to make sure they get the exact right stuff for the temperature in this building.
And getting that tacky off is no easy task.
No, and it literally gets everywhere. I always say, once you've worn a T-shirt sort of anywhere near someone's been lifting
Throw
stones,
the garbage.
That's it, you might as well throw it away. Or use it as a rag for cleaning tacky off yourself.
Kevin Ferris on the left-hand side out of American Fork, Utah, in the US of A. Alexei Novikov, Kiev, Ukraine, will be on the right-hand side. We've seen some fast times so far. I haven't seen the official fastest time yet. We'll have that for you as we progress, but we get down to the final 2 pairings. It's going to go really quick. What do you suspect? Sometimes around under 40, 45?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think, if I'm honest, I think someone like Tom, if he's still feeling good and he's still up for it and it hasn't sort of affected him too much mentally what's gone on, someone like Tom Stoltman could come out and blitz these in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's amazing. You think about that amount of weight. You're talking excess of almost 2,000 pounds moved in under 30 seconds by a human being, and that's when the whole title of strongest man on earth comes into play. So So Alexei Novikov there, getting his tacky, getting his position exactly where he wants it. First stone, 350 pounds, 60 seconds will be on the clock. Ed Cohn, one of the officials, telling Kevin, both hands on the platform, 60 seconds on the clock, and they're off.
Strong start for Novikov.
Alexei, quick work of that second stone, 375 pounds. Kevin Ferris, the American, right there with him.
Looking good.
2020 right here on this side.
Kevin's catching as well. He had a little bit of a disaster on the first stone, was a little bit slow, but he is catching up.
425 pounds, and Alexei's got it on the platform. Oh, and
no.
Kevin just comes up short.
Alexei's on that last one.
Novikov now on the last stone, 450 pounds.
Come on, Kim. Come on, Alexei.
That is just such an awkward movement. Oh,
no.
Novikov. 10 seconds to regroup.
They do look like they're just a little bit too
Yeah.
far away from the platform. I don't know if it's a camera angle, but I know it's been the same for everyone, but perhaps being these guys are just a tiny bit shorter, they could have waddled into the platform a little bit just to get that bit closer.
I think Alexei's making it personal.
Alexei's just going to make a personal statement there. He just wanted to put the stone up, and the official told him it's over.
Hey, let's give a big round of applause, everyone.
Oh, you're talking inches, Terry. I mean,
Yeah.
he was just an inch or two away from the platform. If he's a little closer, he's setting it right up.
Like I said, I mean, I don't know if it's the height difference, because both of those two guys, you know, they're not short guys, but compared
Right.
to some of the giants, they're just that little bit short, or maybe that extra just bit of height that the taller guys get enables them to get it on the platform a little bit easier. These guys sort of fall forwards and the height of the stone drops a little bit, so yeah, I mean, perhaps just a couple of tiny little steps forwards would have made them able to get those lifts.
Squared off against the American Nightmare, Bobby Thompson.
Here we go. So I don't want to give Tom the kiss of death, but in my opinion,
The announcer jinx, here it comes.
Tom is the best stone lifter
Yeah.
there's ever been, in my opinion. When he's on, it's something, you know, amazing to see.
Yeah, 6'8", 405 pounds, so he won't reach to his own personal body weight until he hits that penultimate stone, the fourth stone, which weighs in at 425 pounds. That's 192 kilos. 350, 375, 400 should be no problem for him. And then you put in the added height of being 6'8". Remember, those platforms are 52 inches, so for him, that's not even chest high. He is just throwing it up there belly high.
The thing with Tom as well is, like, he's a very good athlete as well as being a huge man. He's very flexible. You sort of look at the positions he gets in when he's lifting the stones. He doesn't have any hamstring restriction, nothing, which enables him to sort of use all of the muscle rather than just some of it because it's not tight. And you know, Tom, he's got long arms, he's tall, he's very, very strong in the posterior chain. He's got all the attributes to be an amazing stone lifter, and he is.
We've got two more heats after this one, as everyone tries to seize control of day one of the Shaw Classic here, the fourth annual Shaw Classic, as we look for the title of strongest man on earth here high atop the Rocky Mountains at the beautiful Budweiser Event Center in Loveland, Colorado. Todd Harris, Terry Hollins with you as we get ready for Bobby Thompson and Tom Stoltman, USA versus Scotland.
Again,
Watch Stoltman go to work.
There you go. It's not one of Bobby's strongest events. Oh, no.
Bobby Thompson, you can see that arm.
And Bobby Thompson's got a serious left arm issue. Won't speculate on the injury, but he looks to be done. And look at this. You want under 30 seconds? Here we go. Final stone, 450 pounds. Tom Stoltman, can he do it? Yes, he can.
Wow. Just like that. It's just, honestly, he's so far beyond most of the guys on the stones. It's just crazy how good he is.
Terry, that's like, I think I had him checked in around 22, 23 seconds.
Yeah, he literally won motion the first four stones, and, you know, like, with ease.
Oh, and Bobby Thompson just...
Yeah, he doesn't look happy now.
I mean, you could speculate because you're in the sport more, but that's one of those strained, pulled, you hope it's not a tear.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most common one, the bicep tear, obviously. I hope it's not that. He seems to be holding his arm a little bit low down, so it makes me think it's something with his forearm, but hopefully it's nothing serious.
23 seconds for Tom Stoltman. So Evan Singleton and Trey Mitchell will be the next ones up. And then the last grouping will be Brian Shaw and the Moose, Mitch Hooper. 23.3 for Tom Stoltman. Fastest time in the 4 runnings of the Shaw Classic, and he gets it done. Well, this will be huge. If Tom Stoltman can win this event, he's going to vault right up the leaderboard.
Yeah, and it'll give him a lot of confidence for tomorrow as well. Tom's a great at the throwing event tomorrow. He'll be good at the power stairs and fingers medley. So he's got a good day tomorrow as well.
How important is that recovery? I mean, tonight, what can you do? I mean, there's only so much time. And these guys will be back here in obviously less than 24 hours. So what's the process of trying to heal as quick as you can?
I mean, some of the guys will be in the ice baths back to get get all the inflammation out, try and sort of reduce that inflammation within the muscles. They'll be resting well, eating well. But they need to get sleep, maybe get some treatment as well. They might get some massage, a little bit of a rub on the muscle just to release it a little bit.
What would be your diet tonight? I mean, talk about just straight protein, or what are you looking at?
I personally would push in a load of carbs as well.
Okay.
They're asking for a towel. We need a towel to wipe off one.
So Evan Singleton and Trey Mitchell will be the next ones. Trey Mitchell will be on the left-hand side of your screen. Evan Singleton, T-Rex will be on the right-hand side. You got Texas going against Pennsylvania. Identical 30-year-olds. Both of them right around 350, 360 pounds. Trey Mitchell coming in closer to 370. And almost same height, 6'4", 6'5". So there's your tail of the tape for this matchup. But really, folks, it is up against the clock. And 23.3 seconds just put up by Scotland's Tom Stoltman is going to be a tough mark to beat.
Yeah, I mean, both these guys are great stone lifters, but I can't see them beating Tom.
No.
But at the end of this event, these two will both be near the top.
So Trey Mitchell will be on the left-hand side. You see T-Rex Evan Singleton is on the right, pacing, getting ready. 60 seconds on the clock. The Stones go 350, 375, 400, 425, and 450 pounds.
The T-Rex versus Trey.
Big Tex and the T-Rex going head-to-head.
It's a bit of an interesting battle, this, because I would argue that Trey's probably the stronger stone lifter, but Evan's perhaps a little bit quicker. So it's going to be an interesting battle.
Interesting to see when they get down to that final stone who's got what left in the tank. And right now it's T-Rex. And that is going to be a huge miss for him as Trey Mitchell surges into the lead onto the final stone, 450.
Trey might have gone sub 30 there as well.
Yep. Evan Singleton basically lifted 4 stones, but only gets credit for 3.
He needs to get back in there if he can. Still another day to go.
Yeah, he's got 17 seconds, but I think he is spent.
Don't lose your head now. Let's go.
Don't waste the final 10. Get that stone. Evan's going to tap out. So Big Tex gets the better of T-Rex, and I'm looking forward to seeing that time drop, Terry. Is it going to be closer? A classy move by Evan Singleton, giving credit to Trey Mitchell for besting those stones. And I'll tell you that 23.3 is the mark he was looking to beat. And what did 29, so 29 seconds, 6 seconds off, and he was fast, Terry. It gives you an idea of just how fast Tom Stoltman was.
Yeah, I mean, to go sub 30 on this set of stones is incredible. And, if Tom wasn't here, Trey would be, it would be an amazing time. But, I mean, we've got Mitch and Brian out next, and, I mean, even those two guys, Mitch perhaps wasn't, a year and a half ago wasn't the best stone lifter, but then at World's Strongest Man he goes out and I think plays second or third on the stones behind Tom. So, Brian over the years, he was almost, like Tom was before Tom came on the scene. He was the best stone lifter. He lifted the biggest stones, the heaviest stones. He was quick. He actually won a couple of World's Strongest Man titles because he won the stones.
And I think it's a classy move that Brian, normally, traditionally, Stone, such an iconic event, is the last event overall. And Brian is so good at it, he can almost say, I know I'm going to get top 3 every time. But he said, you know what, let's move it to day one. Let's don't make that the game changer. And that's probably a disadvantage for him.
Yeah, and I like it. Why not? Why not? I mean, I've always been a great believer that I think that no event should be weighted more than others. And I know that Stones has always been the signature event, you know, that it finishes on. But why can't we shake it up? You know, we all almost know how good all these guys are at Stones. Like, we knew Tom was going to come out and blitz that. We knew Trey was probably going to be fairly close to him. You know, we kind of knew what was going to happen to an extent. Whereas a different event, no one knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, this really changes things up. So Mitch Hooper getting a look at his side of the Stones. Stones, he said, are much better than last year where he placed third. So he thinks he can finish in the top two. To do that, he's going to need to beat Brian Shaw, and he's going to need better time than Trey Mitchell's 29. So anything sub 30, which both these guys, you know, are capable of doing sub 30.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Mitch, you know, he's still, like I said, he's improving so fast. It's unbelievable. And he you know, a couple of years ago he did badly on the truck pull, then he went back and won it the next year. His stones weren't great, then he came back and come second. You know, he goes away, looks at where he's gone wrong, looks at the mistakes he made or the areas he's not that good, and gets a lot better very quickly. So, you know, it wouldn't even shock me if he came out and got close to Tom's time on this, because he is improving so quickly.
So this is the final event of day number one. We'll have 4 more events tomorrow before a champion is crowned at the 4th annual Shaw Classic. And we will find out who the strongest man on earth is. Brian Shaw in his final event ever. This is it for him. This is day one. He'll come back and compete in day number 2, and then he will hang up the tacky, the belts, everything else. He'll still be in the gym, you know that, but he will turn his attention to this event. And, you know, Riley's saying, see if he can make it grow, because there's a lot of other venues in the Colorado area. I know he wants to keep it in Colorado, but just downtown in Denver, there's an arena that holds close to 20,000 people. So who knows, in the next 2 years, field gets a little bit bigger, more attention. We might be staying downtown.
Yeah, why not? You see Brian just going through these stones. He's so particular about everything, just making sure everything's right. You know, this is one thing that Brian sort of almost brought a new level of, where, you know, he was so well trained and he sort of analysed everything so much that everything, when he went out to do events, it's like he would get it exactly as close to he can in terms of his training and competition. You know, he would get those two things as close to each other. So him just sort of messing around with the stones there, he's just making sure that there's no flat spots, there's no bits of the stone that have got a bit of concrete flaking off of them. There's not one of the other guys tacky in the wrong spot, because it could have been on there a while. It might be going slimy. You know, he's so particular about everything he does, and this is sort of what made him as successful as he was, and also made a lot of the other guys as successful as they were, because they followed suit as well.
So Brian Shaw is set now, getting the towel down treatment from James, and now he's going to psych himself up and then go to work. This is his neighborhood. This is his house. Brian Shaw looking for a second possible victory. To do that, he will need better than a 23.3. He's going head-to-head with Mitch Hooper, the Moose from Canada, the reigning world's strongest man, against the 4-time world's strongest man. Here we go, the final matchup today on day one.
Oh,
this is going to be fast.
Brian's moving.
Shaw already under the 3rd stone.
He's moving. This is quick.
Looking for 23 seconds or better.
I don't think he's going to get that, but
he's got to hustle.
Could he beat Trey?
He's going to be top 5. Boom. Almost dead even as Mitch Hooper came from behind. As they embrace with all that tacky, Terry Holland just say throw both of those T-shirts out.
Yeah, and Mitch caught up really well there. Like I said earlier, he wasn't a great stone lifter when he first came on the scene, and now he's racing against Brian, and you know, he's in the mix with Trey and guys like that as well. I mean, and they're renowned as being great stone lifters, and this was a weak event for Mitch a year and a half ago.
He came back really strong. I think they were so close. This could be a near dead tie.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, the time stops when your hands come off the stone. So, you know, Mitch got his hands on very quickly, so it was very, very close.
So So 23.3 was the time to beat, put up by Tom Stoltman of Scotland. Brian Shaw checks in.
Just finished. Less than a second separating that.
Wow, they were a second apart. And here's where it comes in. You talk about the hands coming up the stones.
Who took third place with 27.39 seconds?
Yeah.
Mitchell Hooper just behind Brian.
And Brian Shaw gets second place. So Stoltman, Shaw, and Hooper, 1, 2, and 3 in the stones. All go sub 30 seconds.
Tom Stoltman out here to talk to him right now, Mike.
Come on.
Your champion in the
There's some amazing performances there. Wow.
Terry, I mean, covering this for as long as we've both been involved in it, seeing these sub 30-second times on these stones is amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, Tom, 23 seconds was it? I mean, it's crazy. It's not even 5 seconds a stone, and that's obviously with the move in between them as well. It's crazy how good he is at the Atlas stones.
So let's go down to the floor. Mike Saunders has the big man.
A bit of a rough start, but you finished, man, with all the strength. Congratulations. What's your plan?
Yeah, I mean, log didn't go to plan, but it's a risk you have to take, so I'm still battling, and I knew Atlas Stones was my anchor event, and I knew I was going to win this one, so I'm still in it, so 4 more events to go, anything can happen. The leaderboard's been going all over the place, so I'm happy. I'm going to rest up and give it my all tomorrow. So,
Tom, I guarantee we're going to be behind you in every single event. Tom Stoltman, everybody!
Well, that is a big points boost to the Scotsman. As Tom Stoltman, man, I hope he got his hands clear of that tacky before he's fixing his hair.
Yeah. I mean, Tom's one of those athletes that does rely a lot on confidence, and it's great to see he's evolved, because a few years ago, him doing badly on that first event would have thrown him for the whole competition. For him to then come through, perform well, and get better as the day went on, he's now finished in a great position on the last event, sets him up for tomorrow. He's full of confidence. Like I said, he's amazing at the bag throw. He's going to be good at the loading, the fingers and power stairs medley. The bench press, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. But, he's got events tomorrow that he can win again. So he could potentially move himself right up the leaderboard tomorrow.